Almost every online fandom of a game or cartoon show has its own harem of fan OCs or fan-made characters. With enough time, love, passion, and maybe a little luck, some of those fan-made characters can go viral and become just as well known as official characters. If you have stayed in the coven of Andy and Lily fandom long enough, you would know this place has just as many fan OCs as in any other online fandom out there. And sadly, there's not much to say about them besides some fan mods and drama. I can't remember the first time I saw a fan OC in the Coven fandom, but I sure remember there were 2 times 2 fan OCs managed to get quite popular within the community. And not long after that, their creators got caught in some drama or allegations, just typical fandom activities these days. I'm not gonna get specific into these dramas because this is the Coven of Andy Lily Short Talk, not another Coven of Paranoia episode. Instead, I will point out what the hell is wrong with these fan OCs from the perspective of an average person in this fandom, so that if you're an OC artist, you get to know what you're doing wrong and fix yourself. If you're just a Coven fan, you get to know what are the red flags and stay out of problem before it escalates further. Perhaps the best advice is to not interact with the fandom at all and ignore things that make you uncomfortable, especially if you're a minor. The only reason I make this video is because the Coven fandom does have a fan OC problem. And who knows if things get worse in the next few months due to all this confusion and the unresolved conflicts. If it does get worse, then I already made this video, so I don't need to make another one explaining what you should and should not be doing to your Coven OC. A very common issue with fan OCs in this fandom is that their creators tend to trace like crazy. Unless you're a new amateur artist, a child, or stubborn shameless tracer, then you don't need to be educated on why tracing is bad. Tracing is a good way to practice drawing, editing, and maybe shitposting. Everyone does that. But in the long run, if you cannot start drawing your own original artworks, then your creations will be just reskins, remakes, replacements of something that is not your OC's original identity. Not to mention, you may get into bigger problems, legal issues, if you don't ask for permission to trace or if you don't credit the original artist properly. Which leads to the second problem. What is the point of these fan OCs? What makes their creators spend days and nights tracing just to see their OCs cuddling with an official character from the base game? Many of you can answer immediately that most of these fan OCs were created so that their creators can insert themselves into these characters and ship them with someone in the game. That's why they're usually called self-insert OCs. Not every fan OC in this fandom is a self-insert OC, but somehow these self-insert OCs usually make it to the top list, and most of them still suffer from the lack of lore or explanation on their personalities or how they are inserted into the Coven world. They kinda just exist for self-inserting and shipping purposes, or exist because their creators want them to. Honestly, I don't have any problem with someone making an OC to ship themselves with a fictional character. That is their hobby, that doesn't hurt anyone, that's none of my business. But things can get out of hands quickly, which created the third problem. From my perspective, people in this fandom sometimes don't treat fan OCs as fan OCs, but rather as tools or stepping stones to criticize those who like problematic characters or ships. You know, those who acting like they're morally superior because their OC is better than original characters, or their self-insert OC ex-antro ship is better than other ships because it's normal and not incestuous. That's ironic because many people to this day, from inside and outside of the fandom, still criticize Namely for allegedly romanticizing Andrew and Ashley's relationship in one optional route of the game. Yet they are somehow fine with fans shipping their OCs with a literal cannibal manipulative sociopath. Both sides are degenerate, just in different forms and shapes. So all these arguments that you see on the Coven subreddit, Discord servers, or Twitter are all pointless. You're not any better than anyone in this fandom just because you're supporting a certain character or a certain ship. Before fan OC even became a thing in this fandom, there were similar arguments that broke out between Andrew x Julia shippers and Andrew x Ashley shippers. It's always about one side trying to prove that they have better moral standards, and the other side just wishing people to not care so much about some pixels that don't exist.
We're the same, you and me. We're the same, don't you see?
You're not the same. I'm a
Moralist.
You're a sick asshole.
Practically speaking, I gotta admit one thing, and y'all gotta admit it too. If tracing, shipping fan OCs with an official character and glamorizing it are the only things OC artists can do, they're not gonna win against the incest shippers in this community. Why? Because the incest shippers make original stuff. They spend months cooking their fanfictions, they make the best incest porn, they hire the most decent artists to draw the highest quality custom arts for their incest fan mods. And it's not all about using incest as the main attraction. People care about the story too. You ever wonder why there are countless incest porn games on Steam, but people buy and play the Coven of Annie and Lily? This game is obviously not a porn game, and people love it not solely because of it having incest. You ever wonder why there are many Coven fan mods at the moment, but people would buy the Coven of Andy and Lele just so they can play the Renee mod? It is also not a porn mod, and people love it not solely because of it having model complex. The point is, if your OC and your favorite ship don't really have anything interesting or original besides it being just a way for you to fulfill your fantasy, you either accept that it's not gonna go far, it's not gonna be as well known as official characters, and it cannot compete against other fan-made ships, or you get good at making fascinating fan OCs and succeed, which is what I'm waiting right now. I'm silently waiting for an actual decent fan OC in the Coven fandom, which may seem an impossible dream according to a recent situation, but I want to believe. We're spending a lot of time on something that may or may not bear any good fruit at the end, while we're also not really enjoying the journey of making or watching it. I want to ask these OC artists that when you created these OCs, how far you want to go with them? Do you want to see them get famous? Or do you just want to draw them doing fun stuff for your own personal enjoyment and nothing more? Do you want your OC to end up becoming just another self-insert OC, or something more unique and original? Half of the OC artists in this fandom want to make their own Coven mods featuring the OCs, but they don't quite know how to code, how to use RPG Maker MV, how to mod the Coven of Andy and Lily using that engine. But the important question here is, do you really need to go as far as making a fan mod just to ship your OC with someone in the base game, while you can start with something smaller like making a little comic series, or you can just not do anything too complicated and have fun with what you have? It seems these OC artists cannot realize that making a Coven mod is not as easy as it looks, and making a decent Coven mod featuring a fan OC is on another level. If you don't really know what to do with your OC besides being a self-insert OC, development progress on your fan mod can be extremely slow and confusing. People can wait, sure, but the longer the wait, the bigger the hype. Can you really code an interesting story for your fan mod? Will you be able to afford the people's demands? Sometimes I feel like these OC artists choose to trace as many artworks as possible because they want to avoid working on the lore for their OCs, while not realizing that they're wasting their time, because what's the point in making this much art when you're not going to use even half of them for your mod at the end, not to mention if they can fit in your mod or not. The point of creating your own OC should be about you having fun with your OC first. You don't need to post your creation on the community because you created this OC. You should have as much fun with it as you want. You shouldn't let people ruin your fun. When you introduce your OC to the fandom, there will always be someone who doesn't like it. Just like how there's always someone disliking the Coven of Andy and Lele, no matter what reason. If the purpose of your OC is to be shipped with an official character in a game to satisfy your fantasy and nothing more, that's okay. But don't expect everyone to like your OC or your ship, and don't spend time arguing online if there's no constructive criticism coming out of it. People will only notice if there's something interesting or something that they like about your creation. And finally, don't try to make a mod for your OC when you're not capable of making one yet. You can always try and learn something else. Eventually, when you get to that point when you're good at creating your own contents, you may want to scrap everything and make your whole game that has nothing to do with Coven, just like this artist has done. Your OC deserves better than just being a self-insert OC in the Coven world. If there's any OC artists from the Coven fandom watching this far into the video, I hope you get my message and reconsider what you've been doing. Some of my words may be a bit harsh or unprofessional, but I 100% just want you to improve and be better. I will always follow your progress when I have time, and I'm looking forward to seeing more content from y'all. You have now reached the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you found something useful here. or at least had some fun. See you in the next Cup and Shock Talk video. Goodbye and Happy New Year.